we're live for sure.
Better not pick your nose.
I won't pick my nose. Don't you worry. See how it's on there? See, it says we're live. There we go.
Hello.
All right. Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody on here. I know it's a crazy time, but we want to wish you all a very, very, very happy St. Patrick's Day, as happy as it can be. Our fireside chat, we had to get close together, so we turned off the fire. It's one of those flick-on fires, so a little easy to do, but we want to wish you all a very happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers.
Flames.
It's not Guinness. They didn't have any. It was at the store the other day. So we have Kustritza, German beer, so we have that. But
I've got
glass
my
of wine
lemon
for
water.
you, Michael. Jocelyn's got
having
her.
water or wine. See, water, wine, beer. We've got everything we need.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, and Lori's got a beer.
That's right. Lori's rocking it.
I
Hey,
love that
Ronnie,
y'all
good
are
to see you,
drinking
buddy.
with us.
Mark, Finley, good to see you. Lori, Sherry, Ronnie, Michael. Oh, yeah, quite a bit of the crew here.
Yeah,
Billy,
Billy's
of course.
on there.
Good to see you all again.
Good evening.
It's been quite the last few weeks, and we kind of were like thinking about what we could do today, and because you can't go to the bars because they're closed, and we wouldn't go out anyway right now because we're doing our part to stay home. So we thought, you know what? Why don't we do this? Have a couple drinks and chat with some of our friends here online, and so we thought, hey, let's just do a live feed with our patrons and members and stuff like that, and just say thank you everybody for being so supportive. It is a crazy time for everybody, and
it's wow, unprecedented, right?
Yeah.
But you know what a blessing the internet is.
Yeah.
How nice is it that we can all get together and hang out and have some like good quality chats and things together rather than just being stuck really on our own.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is just make sure you're still reaching out to your friends, because some of them maybe are not know what to reach out, or they talk or text or whatever. I mean, today I went for a walk and I went to my friend's house and I texted him. We were texting back and forth, and I said, hey, you home? You can come out and we'll talk in the driveway. And so I went over and we kept our 6 to 8 feet distance from each other when we were talking, because he was on campus today. Because his son is at the University of Illinois where I teach, and the University of Illinois just said, hey, don't come back. We're canceling classes for the rest of the semester. It's all going to be online, so leave. But he can't come home because he's been on campus all this, and so like my friends are really sad because he can't bring his son home yet, but he doesn't know what to do. I mean, it's just.
Well, he also works on campus.
He works on campus too, but it's a tough time.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know where all of you are and what kind of level of quarantine you're under, but here in Illinois, we have.
So all schools are closed.
Schools are closed until March 30th, pending things that may change.
Yeah, I teach at the University of Illinois, and they've got it's all online for the rest of the semester. And they're talking about maybe having to do some online stuff even in the fall. Bars, all restaurants are closed. They only do carry out. Bars are closed. Yeah. Cafes are closed.
Drive-thrus are open.
Yeah, drive-thrus are open. Takeaways open, which is good because there's a lot of people that don't have stuff. And that's one thing I want to talk to you all about, because we're trying to figure out how we can help out in our local communities. So the people that print our t-shirts, for those who've gotten the quarter zips and the t-shirts and stuff like that, the place they actually make those here in Champaign, and I've talked to the owner there, and he's getting close. He's going to have some layoffs. So we're going to try to help him stay in business, but also raise money for our local food bank, because Champaign County, where we live, has one of the highest levels of poverty. So that means there's a lot of people going to be hurting.
And they're, right now with kids being out of school, and I know that's it's similar around the country. A lot of states have at least canceled school for some portion of the next few weeks or months. A lot of people rely on that for feeding their kids for breakfast and lunch. And I know the food banks are going to be hit hard. And a couple weeks ago, we went to a fundraiser. We do it every year for our Eastern Illinois Food Bank. And they have a prom, and it's really great. It's fun, but it's also a really great fundraiser. Over 500,000 meals will be provided from just that one night. So
we're talking with them. I have a call with their VP of Development tomorrow to see if it's okay if we can donate money to them. So we're going to come out with a shirt It says, "Be prudent, don't panic." Kind of being our model for this whole thing, and then sell those, and so all the proceeds will go to the U.S. General Food Bank to help out in our community. And we're also going to, when we do it, we're going to ask for people, hey, you know, if you can't buy shirts from, if you're not going to buy shirts, that's totally fine, but like donate to your own local food bank, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need a lot of help for quite some time. I mean, the economic impact of this. I mean, like Michael Mann said, he was out picking up his daughter. He was really surprised to see how many people were out acting like business as usual. A bit disturbing. It is. I mean, it was interesting. They had the numbers out because in South Korea they're testing everybody, and it was something like 29% of the people that had it were actually in their 20s. But in Italy they're not even testing people in their 20s. So it looks like there's nobody in their 20s getting it, but there actually is. They just get, you know, they get a fever and they get, you know, very mild symptoms and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like less than a cold for some people who don't have any issues. Right?
Yeah, and for those of you who've seen like our videos, we've been putting out the videos, you know, don't travel, the travel bans, the layover stuff. Our views are like, we're down 75% in views, which is expected when people aren't traveling. But what's been kind of surprising is some of the comments we've been getting on there, like, oh, it's just a cold, it's just a flu, you're stupid, you know. And I'm like, no, this is serious. And usually, I mean, we've taken some down, but now we're like, no, just educate yourself. Go to cdc.gov and find out more, because it's been crazy because people are really like, whatever.
And then we have, on the other hand, we have people, sometimes they're making comments on our videos, but we have friends and followers and things that are writing us from literally around the globe. And they're saying, you know, my grandfather died, or my mother's sick, or I got sick, you know. I mean, this isn't a joke. This is not a drill. This is real. So,
yeah, and I know that you guys watching here, you obviously know this isn't a drill, and we appreciate that. I think people like us is helping people know that this is real. This is a serious thing. Is helping, because we're getting people that are like commenting like, oh, I thought kids couldn't get it. I thought only old people got it, and I'm going, like, we're trying to help. And the thing is, YouTube, if you mention COVID-19 or coronavirus in your video more than once or twice, it actually will like demonetize it and won't show it as much unless you're like a CDC channel or something like that. So it's hard to get the word out from travel bloggers and stuff like that. But there's a lot of travel bloggers that aren't really, they're not saying anything. They're like, nothing's happening. Here's some more videos of different places. They keep putting out stuff, and I'm like, and part of it I understand, because if you don't know what to say,
they don't know what else to do. I mean, this is, for a lot of them, it's their livelihood. So,
hi, Kathy.
That's a serious thing. So
yeah, and because I mean, we're lucky. I have a job at the University of Illinois, so I have my teaching, which is what we are based things for. Because Wolters World pays for all the travel and making it self. So Wolters World is like self-sustainable. It's not. I mean, it's not paying any other bills. It's just paying for itself. Like I wish I could say, yeah, it helps us pay our mortgage. No, it pays for its travel. So we're lucky that we have that job. But I know some of those other travel bloggers, like, they don't have anything else. Like, they have sponsorships and ad revenue, and for them, I mean, the ad revenue is disappearing faster than you can imagine, and those sponsorships, those companies are not going to be sponsoring anybody anymore. So they're probably scared to death. I mean, I know at one time we were thinking about, do we do Wolters World and do YouTube?
Just
do that. Just
full-time thing.
As a full-time
thing. Who didn't make that decision?
Yeah. So
that would have been bad.
Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting thing. And Lori, we're trying to keep everything positive here, because, I mean, being prudent and not panicking. I mean, that's what you got to do. You have to do it.
But you have to take things seriously. But also, we still have to live our lives. I mean, our lives may now be in our homes, and, you know, like Mark is walking. Oh, I should say that quietly. He's taking the dog on WALKS's. You know, I have to spell it, because if he hears it, he might jump up and want to go.
Yeah.
Also, the word GO sometimes sets him off.
Yeah, he's like, oh.
Anyway, but, you know, so we're everybody's finding their own new normal, right? And we definitely have that. Liam's finding a snack.
Yeah, Liam, eat your corned beef.
I want to say hi, Nora and Gui. Gui's talking about Nora is up there.
Oh, Nora, hey Nora.
Gui is talking about how the beaches are packed in Rio, and maybe it's because people think because they're outside they're protected, but you know, when you're still in close contact, that's still bad. And Mark went to the grocery store, or the store. I'm just putting grocery in there, and you were the only one. I tell you,
he was out picking up something for Terry. I mean, come on, right, Mark?
Yes. Well.
Oh no, we don't want to let Terry know in case Terry's watching.
Terry's
Oh, Terry's
watching.
okay.
Yep, she's on there.
He wasn't getting anything for you, Terry. Don't you worry.
So I went to the grocery store yesterday because we were down to like 5 eggs, and I eat eggs every day. Like that's my main staple food. So I went and I got eggs, and I was like, there were so many people. It was insane. But tons of people had latex gloves on. I only saw one person with a mask. I saw another guy with his shirt pulled up over his face, and his hands were like this, and he's pushing the cart. It was kind of crazy, but and you got to go to the grocery store.
Even our friends that are nurses are like, because Jocelyn got a call from a friend, and she's like, "Thank you for being the one friend who's out there on social media saying take this seriously, stay home." And she's a nurse, and she's like, "Thank you for putting the word out," because we got a lot of friends that are just like, "Oh, it's no big deal," and they're like, "No, this is a big deal." And I know, like as you say, not a lot of people are going to die, but the problem is, it's not the mortality of it. It's just the healthcare system can't take it. So if you have
people die because they can't get
the care,
no,
and then if all the ICUs, if you have a heart attack or if you have something or in a car accident, there's nothing there, and so that's where a lot of the people that's what's really sad. Now, I like these. Hey, Eric Brown, good to see you, buddy. I like, as someone made a comment, it's nice to see all of the people helping each other out. That's one thing that's really nice. I'm really proud of seeing places that are like Woolworth in Australia, and actually County Market here where we're at. They're actually having hours for people that are. I
think CVS is too.
Yeah, it's for like seniors and people that are at risk, and I think that's awesome because we have to do things like that. And I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to be like, "Well, I'm going to go in anyway." I'm like, I mean, it's a very selfish.
Can we just protect our elderly people,
or anybody that has this?
Well, anybody that may be maybe more prone to this. But our old people, they're our treasures. They're living history, and I think that's really it's just
because I've had so many interesting stories over the years, meeting like older folks on the trains in different places, from the grandmas taking the kids from us in Italy to like. I mean, I remember when I was in my 20s. I mean, I was probably like 22, so like 20 years ago. I was on the train. I was going through France. It was like France to Spain to Portugal. It's before they had all those cheap flights. You had to do the train everywhere. And this old French lady was sitting across from me, and I had my guidebook, and I'm sitting across from her, and these two German girls are sitting next to me. And this old lady looks at me, and like I spoke broken French at the time, and she had she opened my guidebook, pointed to Normandy, pointed to me, pointed to herself. She was there, and she goes, "Thank you." And then she flicked off the Germans. Like, she had the book and she flicked them off. I'm like, man. Like, and they were like, they were like 20-year-old German kids. So they had nothing to do with it, but you could see.
No idea.
It was just interesting to see that perspective. And then, like, being in Austria, talking to older people there in Germany, and like their perspective on things. I mean, you really learn a lot. And I think that's one of the things is people being very cavalier with this. They don't realize the impact it's going to have on some people because they're thinking about themselves. And it's really sad.
Yeah, it really is. So let's chat about some things up here. So Michael Mann says the spring break photos in Florida were really eye-opening, and the beaches were packed. So my sister lives near Tampa, and
she's gonna be a Tom Brady fan.
Oh, he went to Florida?
Yeah, he's gonna go to Tampa apparently.
Well, so anywho, yeah, my sister's like, Florida hasn't hardly done anything. They did call schools for a little bit, but like my niece's daycare is still open, and she's like, I'm just shocked that they're not,
because we had another friend in New England. Their daycare had had multiple cases.
Had two cases. And so her son's been exposed. So their family of 4 is now self-quarantining because they've all been exposed. It's just, and she was like, she's like, I'm having a stiff vodka tonight. And
we're like, you go right ahead.
I said, use that vodka to wipe down all your surfaces too.
It won't help, but yeah.
She said, I said, well, she said, I wasn't planning on having to be home yet. And I said, well, do you have more vodka? Because that's the important question right now. And she said, no. I said, well, can Amazon deliver that? She says, not in this state. So no vodka for them. I said, well, maybe your sister-in-law can do it. And she's like, no, she's been exposed too. They're like, she knows like 50 people who are exposed. It's just insane.
Kathy Wolters from Quincy.
Huh.
What a wonderful name. I bet you have wonderful children and grandchildren and,
And the best
daughter-in-law.
daughter-in-law ever.
So if you want to know, that Kathy Walters on there, that's my mom. She just became a patron on Patreon.
Just so she could hear what
just
we
so
say
she'd be
on these
here.
things.
So there's that. Hey, in Southern California, hope you're doing okay. Terry,
Yeah.
Terry, good to see you on there. I just want to get some of the other questions. So Sherry was writing how her ex-husband's a nursing supervisor at the hospital. Today, they're the first case in the county was diagnosed, and he had indirect contact with the patient. It's a good thing I'm staying in. Yeah, it is. I mean, It's tough. I mean, I know the mental health aspect of this is going to be insane. I mean, people are taking this, like the kids out of school, like it's an extended spring break, which for some, like our kids actually have spring break this week, so we're giving them this week. But their teachers are putting together learning packets, so we will be teaching them. They'll email to us, so we'll be teaching our kids. And the thing is I worry is like you can have it's like summer break. Like you do good the first 2 or 3 weeks, but then it's like, what do we do? And now you can't go places. I mean, we have people that are asking our kids, "Hey, could Caleb come to the bounce house and do that?" We're like, no. They're like,
no.
They're like, oh,
that's
what if
like
we?
a germ fest.
What if we go here? And I'm like,
no,
he's not going anywhere. And Caleb was really upset because he wants to hang out with his friends. He's 13 and stuff like that.
He wants to go to Josiah's and go play basketball. I was like,
you can't. Like, we have to make sure we got the
and
2 weeks.
And he was mad that you went over to Jeff's and stood outside and had a beer or talked or whatever y'all did. Yeah. And he's like, "What? He gets to see his friends." I'm like, "Well."
We're
He's standing 6 feet
away,
apart, and they're talking. You want to play basketball? There's physical contact.
I mean, I'll tell you if they want to like sit 6 feet away and talk to each other, I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
but it's tough, and I know like Liam, he broke down today, and he said I need a nap, but I think a lot of it's also what's going on because you have this kind of stuff and that's why like doing these live feeds like this with you guys. I mean, it's catharsis for me,
good for us,
and for us
to
talk.
It's good for you guys,
yeah,
too.
because for us, you're like our family. I mean, it sounds stupid, and I know YouTubers like, oh, we love you, blah blah blah.
But we know. I mean, I feel like I know several of you. We
like I know Kathy Walters intimately.
Oh, that sounds gross.
Well, I came from out inside. I know, like, no one knows her innards better than I do. Except maybe my brother. But I was one day late, so...
Oh, you got another day.
Hey,
so I wanted to say this, because Terry Finley pointed this out, that her sister works at a grocery store. She's a manager at a grocery store, and people are downright awful to her. So when I went to the grocery store yesterday, my cousin's son works at Wegmans in Virginia. And he's a stock boy, and he was saying how people they just walk in front of you, and there's like they don't even pay attention to the fact that you exist. So yesterday when I was at the grocery store, and I was there for a very short time, but I saw so many people, stocking, and I made a point of at least smiling, if not talking to people, and just saying, you know what, I noticed what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I know you guys are slammed, and the guy checking me out at the register, I didn't realize that he was a manager, but he was an assistant manager. And I just said, hey, I want to tell you guys, you're doing a great job. I know that this is nuts. And the lady bagging my groceries is like, oh my God, thank you. And I'm like, well, I mean, you are. You guys are, you're doing a lot more than some of us. We're all getting stuck at home, and you guys are here working crazy odd hours. And, we got to just talking about what was going on, but it is important. It is so important for us to say, I notice you and I appreciate what you're doing, because it's directly helping me. I think that's just, I don't know.
Now, Sherry Rogers says, our governor did a live conference today, and it was nice to hear him be so supportive of Trump and his administration, regardless of the party, all in charge, doing their best. And that's just the thing. It's like right now, it's not a Republican, Democrat, Independent. This is like, look, it doesn't matter what happened before. Right now, we have to think about what we're doing going forward, and that's why we all have to do our part, I think.
And everybody's human. There are going to be mess-ups on all sides.
Perfect.
It's, nobody... But there is no right answer either, like all of these decisions are tough, I'm sure, for all people in leadership.
And there's a lot more tough decisions going to have to come when we look at how we're going to bail, what firms do we bail out, who are we going to help, how do we help, who do we do these things? Just I know, like, for some people, they've pushed it back, so you still have to file your taxes by April 15th, but you don't have to pay until up to 90 days later. You just have to file that. Because I mean, that's an issue we have because we do Wolters World kind of stuff. So it's like YouTube doesn't take your taxes out, so you got to save up and then you write the check in April. So like, there's no, so we could have a nice.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
But you know what? And one of the guys that follows me on Instagram had said something about they went to dinner a couple nights ago, and this girl, one of the servers was saying that she wasn't gonna be able to make her rent or mortgage, and they made up for that. That's what they tipped her. They tipped her what she like was saying to another server, and they overheard it that she was however much short, and they just made that up for her, which I think is a huge thing. And
it's not that
if y'all have watched our stuff before, you know that I used to wait tables in college and right after college too, because I didn't have a job right away. And there were days when I couldn't pay my rent on time, or it was like, do I pay my rent or do I pay my electric bill? And when somebody steps up and does something like that, and I'm not saying we all have to go or even have the ability to do that, but just being kind to somebody makes it takes off some small measure of the stress that we're all going to be under, but especially those people who aren't going to be able to make it,
Yeah. And I know, like, in our neighborhood, it's funny because usually, like, our neighborhood, it's, it's the beige boxes, and usually you see no one out. And I've seen more people out now walking, and we'll have conversations across the streets, or I'll be in the driveway, and they'll be like, all right, we'll just have a nice little 15 feet apart conversation and stuff like that. And so in that way, it's nice because you're seeing more of your neighbors because you're getting out. But we live in a place where it's not 400 people in one building kind of stuff.
Do you see Michael's?
Hey, Michael Mon, us introverts need to reach out to our extrovert friends to make sure that they're doing okay. Yes, that is one of the best quotes I've seen. It really is true.
That so much.
Because I know for me, like, it's hard. Like, I like talking to everybody. I mean, my students would come up, we hug, high five, fist bump. Yeah, what's up? Good to see you, David. What's up, man? CJ. Like, we're all good buddies. And I know now it's like poor Jocelyn's getting all the abuse. I miss him.
I love him. I do. I love him.
So it is kind of interesting. But Nora pointed out interstates in Denver are deserted, which is crazy. Nice drive to work, but it's eerie. Yeah, my buddy who was on campus today to move his son from the dorms to a fraternity house because he couldn't move him back home. He's like, it's not the spring break quiet.
Daniel's moving into the frat house.
Yeah, he's going to stay there. There's 4 guys in the frat house. There's no food, so they have to drop food off to him. So it's as Michael Mann said, it's surreal. It's a bit surreal.
It really is. Yeah.
But but the thing is it's like a zombie movie, but there's no zombies, and that's the thing is I remember there was one thing that it was somewhere in Southeast Asia they put like you will not turn into a zombie from this virus, and that's the thing is we won't. I mean it's a thing, and a lot of people only have mild symptoms. They get it. But it's still a very scary thing because there's people that it's going to be more than mild. And I know we already had one of our fans, one of our fellow travelers, their grandpa passed away from it today. So
yeah, that was pretty awful moment.
Yeah. So Eric Brown, French Quarter was packed this weekend. There's so many cases in New Orleans. They shut the state down starting today. Restaurants and bars only to go, and they even shut down bowling alleys. Yeah, and that's the thing is that's what we need to do. We need to shut it down.
But they should have done it.
They should have done it before
the weekend.
And that's the thing. Well, the thing is you have places that are like, look, we can't logistically shut it down. Like some of the schools, just because we can't tell people kids are going to stay home tomorrow. We have to figure with all these kids and all this kind of stuff. It's a logistical nightmare for a lot of things. Yeah. And Kathy puts in there, everyone needs a routine with some variety in it. And that's the thing is, because if you start doing the same thing every day, like we're putting together a list of some movies to watch, like good travel movies for adults, good travel movies for kids, best travel comedies, just to have some other content to put out for people to help them get through the quarantine and stuff when they start taking it seriously. Because the people that aren't taking it seriously, they will have to take it seriously pretty soon. I mean, I think Maché Tessier, paper mache. Maché Tessier, because you've been with us for a while, trying to get my 18-year-old to understand the seriousness of social distancing. His life is completely centered around his social life. Yeah, I mean, from 13...
all of ours when we were that age.
Yeah, 13 until you're about 30. It's all about this. Then it starts to slow down a bit, so it's really tough.
We actually had a little bit of a moment with Caleb today because he was so mad because he wanted to go to his friend's house, and we're like, no. And we're like, think about your friend Filippo in Italy. Like, I mean, his grandmother's an insane amount of risk. When we're naming people, my dad and my sister both have whatever things. Yeah. I can never say that correctly.
I could do something better with you in English. Go on.
Immunocompromisations?
No, that's how I would mess it up.
So anyway, we talked about it, and he's upset, and I said, listen, this is going to be something that like is defining in your childhood or your early teen years, and he was just not happy about that, right? Yeah. I mean, he was upset, but my 20s were defined by 9/11, and now I mean, there's just so much that happens. I don't know, and kids can't understand that, and it's hard to make them.
And I will give Caleb credit, because after we talked to him about it for a while, like, how your kids, like, they get it, but they can't admit to you they get it. But I think he kind of got it. Oh, Terry, yes, planes, trains, and automobiles is on our list. We can give you guys a little preview. So these are my, we got ones for kids, some comedies we found. Of course, the whole vacation series, but European Vacation, Home Alone 2 to see New York, Road Trip, which is a USA kind of, remember in the early 2000s, a lot of the bro comedies, that was kind of there. There's a Euro Trip version of it, the Hangover movies, the first two, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Crocodile Dundee, Catch Me If You Can, which is I always liked, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, Forrest Gump. Oh, it's these drag queens are going through Australia to do a thing. It shows a lot of Australia. It's actually kind of cool.
Oh, we need to put Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants on there. Okay, that might be for younger audiences. I don't know, maybe. Mamma Mia.
Yeah, I got Mamma Mia on there. Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. My Big Fat Greek Wedding to see Chicago Greek American culture. Airplane, of course, and The Gods Must Be Crazy. Yeah, and so we have these, and we have a list for other just overall travel movies. But I thought it's good to start with some comedies just to get us all in kind of a happier mood.
People feel a little bit better.
Yeah, so we'll be putting out some of those videos over the next couple of weeks before, and I think probably in April we'll start putting some of our travel videos back out in terms of more food stuff and what to know before you go. Not the shocks or don'ts and love and hates. I don't think that's appropriate for a while. But just get some of the more basic stuff. And we do have these 10 facts videos we did some stuff for, which we're going to try to put together.
Fun facts about different places we visited. Yes. And actually, we probably have a gazillion of them to do. We just haven't done them.
400 of them.
So that'll be a whole new thing coming on.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll get some other questions in here. Mark Finley, here's the burning question. Mark, how do you cope with your wife is bringing peanut butter cups in the house? I have zero willpower when Terry brings desserts. I have none. I sneak them behind her back, so I fail. But I haven't had any of the big ones. I just had the little tiny ones. So, it's like a diet version.
So here's the thing, y'all. I have a thing for Reese's anyway, but, the eggs are, the thing for me. So... Oh,
seriously. Every holiday... But the egg ones are
eggs are the most important thing. If you look on my Instagram, there are random pictures of me holding eggs.
The boys got her some. We're we have to get mom those.
They make me happy. But I really so I'm trying to watch what I eat, especially right now because I don't know. I'm not going to the gym like I normally do. We are working out at home, but I don't have a weight bench. I really want a weight bench.
Sorry, jeez.
Mark doesn't think I need a weight bench. Anyway, but I'm trying, and I'm sure that we are all going to have to be really conscious about what we eat, and you can't go to the grocery store all the time. So I don't know what's going to happen with fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, right? So I did have my one egg, and I just wanted more peanut butter, and I was looking at my macros. I follow how much fat and how much carbs and how much protein I eat every day. And I was like, wow, I need more fat and protein. So I just started dipping, and Mark's like, wow, that's special. Anyway, Mark Finley saw that on my Instagram. We had a whole conversation about it. And Mark Finley, I haven't told Mark this, Mark Wolters. Mark Finley sent me a recipe for homemade. What are you doing? He's taking a picture of me again. he sent me a recipe for homemade Reese's peanut butter cups. So that's going to be exciting. Except for
thanks,
that I don't
Mark.
have powdered sugar because I don't keep sugar in the house.
Doesn't see me recipe. Just sends me love and
fist bumps.
Anyway, I agree with my mom. We do need to give a shout to the grocery store help. That's true, Mom. And all the, and that's true, and all the supply chain people. I mean, that's a big thing.
But think about like Jen, a friend of mine. She's a hairdresser, and she put out a thing today, and she's like, if you're sick, don't come to my salon. She's like, if you've been traveling, don't come to my salon for 2 weeks. You know, I mean,
you have to make those things.
But think about how this is going to impact them financially. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I am scared. That is the big thing I'm scared about is the financial impact. The families that are going to lose their job, going to lose their businesses. I mean, it's not just restaurants. I mean, it's all kinds of businesses and things. Your local chiropractor. I mean, everything. I mean,
everybody's job is going.
Everybody's job is going to change. I mean, I'm blessed that I have a job, and I hope I keep a job. I mean, that's one of those things. You're like, there'll probably be cuts afterwards. B.N. Smith Law. Hey, you did make one. Good to see you on here. Sorry, they've been trying to get on to one of these forever, and so they've commented on a lot of other things.
Welcome.
So, welcome.
We're glad to have you.
Hey, Lori. Yeah, it's always good to be polite to everyone.
Yeah, just love your neighbor.
That's right. Let's see. So Kathy Wolters was talking about the beauty shops like Jocelyn was, the house cleaners, the little things out there. I mean, it's like we have a local Mexican place. Like it's actually in a couple of my business videos, and I wear their shirt occasionally. I think I'll do that tomorrow when I'm to film my business videos. Like they're just getting by, and now their business is disappearing, and
we there once a week.
More than once a week.
Okay, well, more.
Well, no, not since this year, because since I've started, I've been better, but I feel bad. So yeah, it's tough. So there's things you can do, like tip when you can, add a little bit extra on, buy some gift certificates for there, so they have the cash to get by, and then when you use the gift certificates later, use up the gift certificates and then buy something else so they get more cash coming in. So
Gui makes a good point that there are people still going out to work, but their kids have no school and no one to look after them. And there are a lot. Terry said that the daycare that is associated with the church she works at is like parents can't even come in, and they're taking temperatures when kids are coming and going. But you know what? There have been a lot of memes about how we Gen X kids are made for this because we were the first we were the only latchkey generation.
Yeah, because because we had fostered a child for a while, and we learned all the rules. Like we couldn't leave our kid home alone because he's not 14. But they're like, but you can leave them alone in certain situations, but you can't leave them alone until they're 13. But you can. There's no set rule in Illinois, so you're kind of like. But
basically, they said with our children, it would be a little bit different. But since we were fostering, that as you can't leave a foster. The DCFS guy was just like, you just don't do it, and it was really difficult because sometimes I leave the kids for 15 minutes. Ooh. I run across the street to my neighbor's house and chat for a little bit or something. We have a grocery store not 5 minutes away, and I can't just leave to go get milk and eggs. It's always milk and eggs. Why am I always getting milk and eggs?
I don't know. You don't even drink milk.
I get milk for the kids. Let's get some chicken.
By the way, Cool Runnings. Good call on that one. Though. Caleb used to watch.
Love that,
dude. Caleb watched that back to back to back.
Caleb and I watched that a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Caleb has actually pictures from one of the Jamaica bobsled things. We were in Jamaica last year.
Oh yeah. So, Jamaica was really cool. Jamaica was so much more than what I expected.
Yeah, it was a great time. Hey, and Kathy Falk makes a good point. Nurses are taking the brunt of this, sometimes with no protection. God bless them, all of them. Yeah, every nurse. And I know doctors but the nurses are the ones that are there with you, and they deserve our love. And I know you guys all think that. And
Nora is an RN. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Nora, for what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's true. People have no child care.
I wonder if we're gonna have another generation of latchkey kids like us. I mean,
well, I think the ramifications on society for this is you see all the influencers and stuff like that. Nobody cares anymore. Like when people were complaining, oh, my beer wasn't cold enough, so I'm not gonna write a review for all that's gone.
Yeah.
Like this is a defining moment. Like I mean, it'll be interesting for a marketing perspective to see how these things change. But I think for a lot of people, this is the wake up call because we got to complain about things that really weren't complainable. Like, they didn't get the thing right on my newest Samsung Galaxy. Da 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 da. And you're like, no, I'm glad I have a phone. I'm glad I'm here. You know,
we're gonna appreciate what we do have. Sherry says, this is brilliant. Okay, she says, some YMCAs are providing childcare for medical professionals. Such a great idea. We need those who are temporarily unemployed to check into something like that. I love that idea. Actually, so our YMCA is closed, which is why I'm not going to the gym. Well, that we're staying home.
I'm not going to the gym either.
Yeah, but I have a friend who is a trainer at our local Y, and I know she does not like to not be busy. Like the woman doesn't, if she sits down, she falls asleep because she's just that. Have you ever been to a movie with her? Lindsay will sit down in a movie and she will be asleep before like 5 minutes are out. I mean, no joke. Because she just goes. But anyway, that's a great idea. Remind me later to text her and say, hey, here's something for you to do. Because she loves to do stuff with kids. She actually runs a class called Kids Sweat. And that would be really good for her. And I think that's a great idea because there are a lot of people who aren't going to be able to work, and that might be some kind of thing. And I do shout out Nora. Thank you for being a nurse. My mother was a nurse, and I know what that's like. And gosh, several of our friends are. And one of my girlfriends is a home health nurse, and she said she's got patients who don't want her coming inside. And she's like, these are people who need help. And she works in a low-income area in Savannah. And she's like, they aren't physically able to get themselves to a doctor or hospital. And quite frankly, they couldn't afford to go into that kind of care. It's too much. It's crazy.
Yeah. So on a lighter note, Eric Brown likes his Cadbury. And he hates the gym being closed. And Michael Mann's like, unfortunately, I have no excuse for exercise. Have a full weight set up and a trainer bike in my office. I actually cleaned out our garage. So we had this house built. It's funny because we tell people we built a house. Like, you built it yourself? I'm like, no, I paid the people to build the house for me. Anyway, so since we built this house, our garage has been not clean. And so today and yesterday, I'm like, we got to get this. So it was like, get stuff cleaned out. We made progress. And
Kathy Wolters.
Kathy, yeah, you'll be shocked, Mom, when you come here.
You can see the floor.
Yes.
Woo!
I know. And so, like, we had the exercise bike, the $200 bike you get from Amazon. Had that, got that set up. Got one of the little TVs that the kids used to have when they'd be sick. We'd put in their room. Put that out there.
My dad gave him that little thing, wasn't that?
Yeah, that's from your dad. It's like in his office.
It's actually for a car. My dad's a car dealer. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go on the back of a headrest.
Yeah.
It's little tiny.
Yeah, that makes more sense now with it.
Yeah.
So it makes total sense now because it doesn't make sense in a room. Anyway, so we had that stuff. So we started, and we brought our weights down. So we're trying to work out here to get back on it because I've lost 50 pounds since this time last year. It's like over 50 pounds now, and I don't want to lose them. Let's keep it going. So trying to do that. So I'll have a video out probably next week talking about
beer is not on our low carb day today.
You know what? It's St. Patrick's Day, and I'm talking to my buddy.
It's all right. I was dipping Reese's
eggs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, holier than thou. Yeah. Hey, those of you married, you know what I'm talking about.
Hey,
do as I'd say.
I met my macros today.
I'm eating my macro.
I might have a drink later.
Yep.
I'll go over on my carbs if I do that though.
All right.
So Michael Mann, I'm so jealous. He has a full weight set. Like, I really need...
Hey, my mom used to have one in her basement.
Hey, Kath, do you still have that?
No, we got rid of it because it was...
All I want is the bench that goes flat and then goes up and down, and I saw one for $50 at Walmart the other day.
No. Here's the thing. We have the weights. We have stuff. We can do it together.
I have an 8-pound weight. I need to go up in weight.
Then use the 20s. You can get taller guns.
There's a big
you can do
difference
it. You
between
guys are
8
strong.
and 20. Not for some stuff. Anyway, okay.
Anyways, So, Mark Finley, I got a little stir crazy today. Went on a drive in my muscle car. Good therapy for my soul.
What kind of muscle car do you have?
And that's the thing is, you can go out and do stuff. This isn't like an aerosol thing that you go outside, you die and stuff like that. You have to have like contact with people. So, one of our friends, she's like, I had to get out of the house. I drove. I'm like, good, get out, go drive. Like that's why you can go out and walk. Just keep the distance from people. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Kathy Fox talking about traveling nurses can make $4,000 a week in the crisis areas like Washington. Yeah, Washington just like when it's suspended the license.
Yeah, they suspended having a state license. One of my friend's sisters is a nurse in Washington, and they're now just taking any nurses. You don't even have to have a state license anymore.
I like that. Bean Smith, the missus took one for the team and put our 6-month-old to bed tonight. I remember those days. Bless her heart. Bless her. People are like, it's all those babies that are going to be popping out in December and January this year.
Yeah, we were talking about how there's
like, don't touch me. Do it for me.
A cow in the backyard and chickens run around. So, funny you should say a cow, because up until about 10 years ago, maybe, I was afraid of cows. When I did not know this. I'm going to tell you this story. Well, that's because I kind of was getting over it slowly. And
you married me, and I'm a cow, so therefore you love cows. Okay.
So
makes sense now.
When I was little, my dad and I, we used to live in southern Arizona, and we would just
Yes,
go
Mom,
off-roading.
I cleaned the garage.
She said, I'm shocked.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sure. Oh my gosh.
So we were out four-wheeling, and they have open range there, and there are a lot of horned cows and or cattle, I should say. Anyway, and I don't know, one kept coming up to our car, and my dad stuck his hand out like he was gonna like smack its snout or something, and I was flipping out, and that damn thing reared back and charged our truck. So there's the start of it. And then
it's okay, horses always try to kill me. So
later, when we lived in central Illinois, when I was a little bit older, we lived in the country, and our yard bordered a pasture, and I used to go out and I was 10, 12 years old, and we'd go play in the pasture and like whatever. Well, my dog got loose, and we had a collie, and it started hurting the freaking cows, and the cows came running at me, and I climbed a tree because the cows were coming, and I didn't know where else to go. I just, all I could think was, oh my God, I'm going to be trampled. So up until I was
stampede,
I was afraid of cows. So I'm kind of okay. That was a really long story. Y'all did not need to know.
No, but they do. They're the core. They're the members, the patrons. They deserve the inside.
This is building community.
Now, do you understand? Now you're like, oh, I understand these things now when they do the videos. Oh, I see it
weird.
now.
They're so much weirder than we thought they were.
That's right. I like this one. Lori Smith, self-absorbed selfers just need to go off YouTube. And someone made a point of saying then there'd be a lot of people disappeared off YouTube. It's true. Oh yeah, Michael Mann, that would eliminate lots of channels. Yes, it would. And some of them, yeah. Well, actually, I will say this. I bet you'll see a bunch of YouTube channels going under because they can't support it because the advertising will disappear. I think it'll be very interesting to see what things look like in 6 to 8 months for these kind of things. I mean, some people do well because people will be staying home watching more stuff. Like Michael was saying, Netflix and all this kind of stuff is going to do well. It will.
And Terry said that, wait, where did it go? That Mark saves YouTube videos to watch when he's on the bike too.
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
I think that Michael and Mark need to meet up. I just, sometimes I think you two are kind of cut from the same cloth.
There you go. Thanks guys for the good weight things. You all know it's not easy. So
I'm proud.
And it's true, like how you say, it's not easy as you get older. It's so true.
We should get chickens. I'm not afraid of those.
We can't have chickens in the city limits.
If you get quiet chickens, no one will know.
True. We have a dog across the way who barks 24 hours a day like a mad... Poor dog. It's not the dog's fault. The owners suck.
No, they never go outside. I swear, me going, "Hey, Paulo," talking to him, like that's the only fun he ever gets. It's sad.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a 1970 Pontiac Le Mans. Terry has an A6
cool.
Trans. Nice!
Finley's
rocking it. That's what I like.
Very cool.
Hold on. Oh, man, there was one I was trying to read on here and it disappeared. So we're like reading little by little on these things over here. I guess you guys see it over there, but you can see it over here. And so we're trying to go through so we can see everybody's stuff. Yeah, Nora, thank God I'm not a labor and delivery nurse anymore.
Oh, man. My L&D nurse when I was in Portugal, wow, those women, they kept me going. So I spent a month in a Portuguese hospital when I was pregnant with Liam, and it was pretty touch and go for a while. Like, we thought I was going to deliver at 22 weeks. It was rough. But when I finally, after that month, I got to go home because my sweet mother-in-law, Kathy Wolters, came and promised that she would take care of me because my doctor wasn't going to let me out unless there was someone to take care of me 24/7 and make sure I didn't walk. Well, I wasn't walking anyway, except to the bathroom. But anywho, so my L&D nurse, when I came in, it happened to be one of the nurses that had been with me when I was in my room. And when they heard my name come through that I was coming in, they got my old room ready for me. Like, they moved somebody out so that I could have my old room and everything. It was, gosh, they were wonderful. They were wonderful,
Rosa.
wonderful people. Yeah.
So the meetup, that's actually one thing I would like to do someday is to do a meetup. We've actually met up with individual fans occasionally. We've gone, like, if you ever see a guy, Scott Neal, who'll comment, he's in Scotland. My mom and I met him in Edinburgh last week. Or not last week. This last summer.
Were you in Edinburgh?
Yeah,
I didn't know it.
Sorry. And so we met up there. And then other ones like Rob from TripX DC. We started chatting with each other, and we've met up a few times. So it's nice to do. It's just that there were a couple years ago. There's a couple YouTubers that were killed by fans and stuff like that. So we've really kind of held back. And
what?
Oh yeah, it's there's weirdos out there, and so. We've kind of especially when we have kids. Joss has always been,
Well, I've been.
It's we don't do anything when we got the kids with us. Sometimes I'll do Billy's. I'll drive to Chicago for a meetup. I might do something in Chicago, but the thing is, I want to do it with you all because you are true fans. You're the true dedicated ones.
We've developed relationships with you guys more than we have with just everybody else.
Because that's one thing I like about these talking to the members and the patrons kind of thing. Because we get to actually talk to each other. Whereas when we get all the 500 questions going by, it's really hard to get everything in there, and then it's hard to get
I can't go off on tangents because what you don't see is that Mark under the table's he's
and then she does it to me too.
And then I kind of
we gotta
squeeze
move
his
on.
leg, and then he jumps when I squeeze his leg. So if you ever watch a video and Mark's it's because I just squeezed his leg too tight.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Carmen. Good luck with work. I know how it is, how you work. And I remember I would listen to these things. So for me, I don't do podcasts, but I will listen to YouTube, but I won't watch the video. I'll be on the treadmill and listen to it. Or actually, I'll walk the dog and listen to it as I walk around.
Isn't that weird that he'll listen to the YouTube, but not to the podcast? Strange, man.
We'll figure it out. Guille road trip. Sao Paulo to Chicago. Long road trip, my friend. But no, we don't. Do we have? They still have the direct flight. Well, I guess probably not right now. But is there still the Chicago Sao Paulo flight? Because I know there was at one time, but we went through Atlanta then down. Last time
because we're flying Delta all the time.
Because I've flown down there 3 or 4 times, and I United, and then now we're in Argentina. So there's Delta that one. Yeah,
I love when he does that in his head, and the rest of us don't know the subject.
No, the flights we took to Brazil.
You
know. Você sabe.
I know.
Sabe que estava a falar disso, or estava falando disso. Gui knows.
I understood what you just said.
Muito bom. Anyway,
it's hard for me to listen.
Carmen, meet up in LA. So Carmen, hopefully all this stuff will pass. So I'm supposed to be in LA in October for this thing called Vid Summit, so I can kind of learn more about doing YouTube and stuff like that. And so since I'm doing all the YouTube travel stuff, and now I'll actually be teaching online my marketing stuff through my university, I want to make sure I can be the best at the online education stuff, online preparation. So I'll actually be there. Is it middle of October? If the world's back to normal, relatively back to normal, we're supposed to be in Ireland the beginning of October, and then the middle of October I'll be in LA for that. So hopefully I can put some stuff together for that. So that is definitely a doable thing. Mark is not afraid to drive all the way straight through to Chicago.
All 2 hours.
All 2 hours.
No, I love this.
And hey, Lori, San Diego. I'd much rather do San Diego. I love San Diego. That place is awesome.
I would vote San Diego too. I'm not a huge LA fan. But okay, so Nora says, when I hit my husband's leg under the table to shut him up, he says, why did you just hit me? What was that for?
Yeah, and you're like, you know, you're talking about it.
Shut up. Good Lord.
Oh, what's with my beer? So that's the koozie, and then I've got now I have a Stefano. It's a German beer. So it was funny because you might have seen our city champagne was in a bunch of news things because they have the city council had to like vote for some stuff, and so the rumor was they were going to like be able to ban alcohol sales, and we happened to be out. You know, we dropped the kids off at school, and then we went to Target
and Barnes and Noble.
And Barnes and Noble.
That's how we have dates.
Yeah, we go to Target and spend money we don't need. And
whatever we get stuff we need.
And then we went to Barnes and Noble to the cafe and have our tea together, which is things we do because we love each other. Mm-hmm. And then
it's our date.
And then we went to Hobby Lobby to get crafts so we can do some craft stuff with the kids during the break. And then we went to Guitar Center to get because the lessons are going to get canceled and stuff like that. So we got a guitar and drum, like kind of teach your kids kind of stuff. And then we're like heading to the liquor store, which is right next to it. You know, just play guitar, then go buy alcohol. Makes sense, rock stars, right? And so we go and while we're pulling in, like 50 cars are pulling in, and my buddy texts me, like you can hear it texting now. My mom's texting stuff to me. And he's like, hey, check this out. And then he sent me the like highlight thing. I'm like, oh, and so I asked the guys we were walking in, like, so you guys here because the city's like gonna ban liquor sales or something? They're like, yeah. And so when we're in there, we go in, we're getting all this stuff. It's full, and then by the time we leave, it is packed because everyone's worried.
People with like grocery carts filled to the brim. I mean, like they were hoarding the liquor and the beer and the everything, and I was just like, you know, we're about out of vodka, and I could use a little Saint Germain, and you know what? I don't have any grenadine. So I'm like shopping because there are things that are normally stocked in my house.
Because we had a big Christmas party this year because we always want to do that. Usually we're gone, and this year we were here for Christmas. And so we had a huge like Christmas open house, and so we had like a huge table without all that kind of stuff, and everybody had a very good time, and they drank all the alcohol. So we were kind of out, and then
I needed vodka.
Yeah, and then since I've been dying, I haven't been drinking or anything. That's why I'm celebrating with you guys, so I get to have some drinks. And so we hadn't got anything, so we're like, oh well, it's time to restock, and then it was like, oh okay, so
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Finley, I don't know where you're from that you drove all the way to Chicago to see a Rangers Cubs game, but I'm gonna guess Texas. Because Rangers. Do people outside Texas like the Rangers? I mean, I'm not being ugly when I say that. That sounded like I was being mean, and I don't need to be. I don't know a lot of people that like really follow them a lot.
Hey, Carmen, make sure you send me some information on LA because I want to do some stuff when I'm there. Because right now, how it looks, I get in on Monday, and then it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like one of those conferences where it's like starts at 8 a.m. and finishes at 8 p.m., and then you have like the networking stuff afterwards. And so I'll have like Friday, Saturday to go around and do. Yeah, they're down in Dallas.
I didn't know that.
Oh, sorry. Mark, you're talking about Mark and Terry?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, we were going to go down for the travel show, but.
Oh right.
Yeah. And so I got 2 days. So any tips are always appreciated, Carmen. Thank you. Gui, U.S. state liquor laws are so interesting. Yes, they are. Some places, like was it New Hampshire? You drive in and they have like the state alcohol store at the border. You can only buy liquor at certain spots. Yeah, it's kind of like when you go to like Sweden or Finland where they have like the super weird alcohol laws.
I remember when I first moved to Savannah. It was like I don't know. I had driven in with my girlfriends and. I hadn't even moved there yet. We were just going to look at the town and like find me an apartment and things like that. And so we went into the gas station. They're like, "Hey, let's get some beer, whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And we go back and all the lights are out. And I'm like pulling on the thing and I'm like, "Why won't it open?"
Did they yell at you?
She did. She's like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" And I was
we don't sell alcohol on Sundays, but they do now.
Well, they sell it now, but we used to call it. We used to.
Yeah,
we had a word for it.
Because I would come visit you, And you're like, it's Saturday stock up, or it wasn't.
Yeah, it was funnier than that, or more funny than that. Anyway, and it was just like I'm like I need to have whatever. That's it. I'm done with that story. Carmen. Okay, so Carmen says that there are hidden treasures in LA. I haven't been to LA truthfully since like the 80s. I just remember that I hated it. And maybe that's, I don't know. Because we spent so much time on the road. I think that's what I hated. It was just like I was constantly just in a car, and I was young. And, you know, we went there a lot, though, because my aunt lived, she worked for UC Santa Barbara? Is that right? Aunt Georgia.
I think so.
Anyway, I just remember wherever we went, I was a kid, and we spent all the time in the car. And it wasn't that I loved the La Brea Tar Pits. That's like my best memory. I mean, there's Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and all that, but I don't even know if Knott's Berry Farm still exists.
Mm-hmm.
And I love those things. They were fun, but the La Brea Tar Pits, that was it for me. But I would love to know some more hidden stuff, some newer things, because I don't like not liking places, you know? So, change my mind. Okay.
I'm chewing mangoes because I'm being healthier than Miss
I'm drinking
peanut
water.
butter cup and peanut butter.
I needed fat and I needed...
What am I? You had all the fat you needed right here. Whatever.
Oh.
Whatever. So, Lori Sims was talking about what a great tour the Prague Pilsner tour was. So my buddy and Jeff and I went down with his son to the Pilsner Urquell brewery in Pilsen. I think it was about a 2-hour train ride. So we just went down for that. Like, we literally took the train down. Actually, if you're a member or a patron, you can actually watch that video. If you scroll back, you can actually see it. I just have like 5 things to do when you're in Pilsen. But basically, we just went down to go to the Pilsner Brewery. And what's cool, where they stock their beer, it's like this underground cavern system. And they have this unfiltered beer that literally, the dude like pops it open right there. And like, you got to drink this like within 2 hours or it's bad. And I'm like, okay. And it was so cool. So, and the Czech Republic does a really good job, not just with the tasty of the beer, but how they do their tours, you feel like it's not just a like corporate tour thing, like when you go to some places and you're like, oh, it's just part of the thing. Or when you go to like the microbreweries who are like so stuck up sometimes with the whole like, yeah, we use the hops like this. I'm like, yeah, but your beer still tastes like crap. You know, so I'm like, you make good beer. I don't care where you're from, man. You make good beer is good beer. So that's one thing that I've seen. It's amazing. Like, I've had good beer around the world in places I never expected. Like Lithuanian beer, really, really good. Polish beer, not so good. You know?
I don't like the beer.
She didn't like the beer. Brazil, the ice cold beer there. Gui. Bengelagino.
No, yeah.
Bengelada.
Bengelagino is the little one that she makes, right?
Yeah, not still exists. See, Carmen said.
I
trust Carmen. So.
Beer. Cold beer that I don't drink. I'm going to go get some water.
All right.
Love you.
I love you too. So let us know, what are some questions you guys have? Because we can actually talk some travel stuff, because this will pass eventually and we can all go traveling again. But right now we're all staying home. But is there anything you guys would like us to talk about? You want like any kind of stories or any kind of things you'd like us to share? I mean, I know it's St. Patrick's Day, so we can talk about some of our Ireland trips. I mean, I remember first time I went to Ireland, I went, I was still doing my master's, and I visited a friend of mine. She was living with her sister, and they had just moved. Like, they moved to this place, and then I came like the next day, like, oh no, it's fine. And it was funny because there was 2 girls, and the place hadn't actually been cleaned yet. So like, I lifted up the seat to go to use the restroom, and I mean, it was like mold covered. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? I'm like, we don't know. And we had a fun time because they're up by Derry, and so they took me all around up there, and it was really kind of a cool thing. And it got me realizing, you can actually go and drive and see a lot of these places. Like, that's one thing is like, the Autobahn can be too intimidating, but like going to Ireland, going to the UK, going to France, stuff like that, you really can drive around and do a lot of stuff. It's just like in the US, like when you get to those big cities, it's just never a fun thing. Yeah, Mike and Mon really holding out hope for fall travel. Yeah, I am.
Aren't
too.
we all?
We all are. I think it was for me, it was interesting when President Trump said, we're looking like August, and then the UK said it could be till next spring. I appreciate that they were taking more of a long game at this because that's the thing. It's like what they say is like what do they say? Bring down the hump or
flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve because it's the spike.
Why are you living under a rock?
Well, no, I never because they make it sound so easy to remember it, then I don't remember it because
That's okay.
But
I love you anyway.
So, like, I want to get to where everything's back down, and it's probably going to be. And once they start looking at it that way, it's a lot easier. They're thinking more of the longer term game, how they can do it. So that's nice. Yeah, Gui says yes, we do drink them cold. Actually, in Brazil, if your beer isn't cold enough, you can have them take it back. And my host mom, she would do this at the bottom, and if she could make a little tornado with ice in the bottom, like coming up the thing, she's like, okay, that's cold enough.
Yeah.
So.
Terry is they're praying about their trip in May. So our best friends in Italy, Mark is supposed to be the best man in their wedding. These people are incredible.
Yes.
They're wonderful people. They have been together 20 years and they are finally getting married. And they asked Mark, 8 months ago to be the best man. They told us before they'd even told their parents. And I said, this is Murphy's Law. Finally, after 20 years.
The only thing that would stop them getting married is a global pandemic. Because all marriages in Italy are canceled. Like, you can't have a marriage. You can't have a funeral. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's incredible. So they're getting married in June, and we too are praying about getting to Italy in June. That would be, even if we have to cancel everything else, I would just like to be there that day. If we had to fly over and come right back, but I don't know that we can do that.
Melissa,
right. Welcome.
Melissa, good to see you on here.
Glad
I know
it's
hard sometimes to get the live feed, so I'm really glad you're on here. Awesome. Excuse me, we will keep the positive attitude. The main travel videos will come back in April. Right now, we want to get people really focused on staying home and stuff like that. So we're going to have some stuff on, like what to watch and some stuff to do. We were actually putting together some don'ts of quarantines today to have some fun with that.
Yeah, the do's and don'ts of quarantine.
Yeah, because right now it's too fresh.
Don't leave messes all over for your wife.
Yeah, we should have saved your card and taken a picture of that one.
I did. It's on my Instagram.
Oh, there you go.
At Jocelyn Wolters World, if you need a laugh. A couple days ago. It was like day 2.
This isn't a glass garden where glasses come to grow. So it's pretty fun. So hold on. I want to go back because who was it? Someone was asked about their dad or their dad wanted to go to Ireland. It's not Melissa.
Nora, I think everyone falls in love with limoncello.
Yes. And my mom and Kathy Walter, she's still on there. Her and I drank a lot of limoncello when we were in Herculaneum, and we just kept knocking it back. It was a good time.
Carmen, Nick, my husband wants to take his dad to Ireland. His mom was Irish. What is a must-see?
So Nora pointed out the Cliffs of Moher in Galway. That is a good. Those are both good. What I would recommend if you can do like a 10-day, because I know people, you want maybe you leave on Saturday, get in Sunday, then you leave the next Sunday. If you're coming from the U.S., fly into Dublin and get your car in Dublin at the airport and then leave right away. Do not have the car in Dublin.
Don't drive to Dublin.
Go away. From there, go to Kilkenny. It's a nice, cute town, about an hour and a half drive, 2-hour drive, I think.
Isn't that where we stayed at that really cool? They still had a reserve of peat.
Yeah.
And they just took little tiny bits of it to put in the regular fire so you could smell the peat. Oh my gosh, that was the coolest B&B. And unfortunately, we had kids. It wasn't a kid kind of place. And actually, we didn't. We only had one kid, but that was it was just such a beautiful place. A little stream off the side. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that wasn't Kilkenny. That was afterwards. That was after we did the Cliffs of Moher, and we're down by the Ring of Kerry.
Oh, sorry.
Back around. But anyway, so from there, Kilkenny, then go over to Galway, like they said. That's a good pub music kind of thing, and then you come down. And you go through the Barren, and you can go see a few interesting things. The Cliffs of Moher are really what you want to see. And that can take you down to the Ring of Kerry to drive that. When you come back through, Cork isn't really worth your time, to be honest. Kinsale, which is a small town on the coast right south there, that's worth your time. And Blarney Castle, you can go there late in the day or early in the morning and beat the tour groups. You can do that. It's 2 or 3 hours.
But I don't know that everybody's going to want to be kissing on a stone after all this.
Exactly. And you don't have to kiss a stone. It can be a little claustrophobic. But at Kinsale, then go up. When you come back around, pass through Waterford, which I was just thinking it was just going to be the crystal stuff, but I felt really bad we didn't spend a night there. That was really nice. Then when you get back up to Dublin, then you drop the car off at the airport when you come in, and then you just take the public transportation in or take a taxi in and spend like, a night or two in Dublin and come out. And I know this sounds like a lot for a short period of time, but Ireland's actually pretty small.
So small. Like you can get a lot of like the Ring of Kerry we did in one day, right? I mean, it seems like we're putting a lot of stuff in there, but it's very doable. We did almost all of that in what, 4 or 5 days?
That's because we were go. Yeah, it's like.
I mean, we didn't stop.
Then I did this same thing with my buddy for 10 days. Yeah, because we left Friday.
Well, you guys had the extras in there. Take about 2 of those places out when we did it.
Yeah, I mean, because like the Cliffs of Moher, you go and you stop and you look, and you're there for an hour or two maybe or less, and then you're on your way again. So I was thinking, but you'll have a good time. It's a really fun place to do, and make sure get the GPS. Pay for the GPS on your car, because your phone GPS won't kind of catch things fast enough, especially the roundabouts. So there's that.
Sherry's asking, when you think we'll feel safe enough to travel those areas hardest hit by coronavirus? We have a trip set for mid-June to Europe, Venice included. Just wondering. One, I don't think anybody can answer that. I don't think there's a single person on this earth that can tell you if we'll all even be able to travel by mid-June. 1, 2, you're going to be the one that has to make the decision if you feel safe. If you're comfortable with it or not, that's really a hugely personal thing. Okay. Do you see this?
The shiny stuff?
Yeah, I have.
You still have one of your things left.
I have 2 of them. I know, but it keeps catching. Y'all, I have tinsel in my hair.
She had that put in by our friend Donna. Dan put it in.
Dan put it in.
Or Dan, because Donna's trained it well.
So it's really distracting. I have ADD, and sometimes it's really bad. But do you see it right?
That's why I don't have hair, so I don't have this problem.
I keep seeing it in the picture, and I'm like, what is that? And I kind of want to
let it go.
Sorry,
it go.
Don't sing that song. I hate that song. It
drives
me crazy.
It's a funny song with the kids that way.
So
Mark Finley, Mark Finley brings up a good point. Is it weird to say it's depressing to watch travel videos now when we don't know if our dream vacation for our 25th anniversary will happen or not? No, it's not weird at all. And you're not the only one. I mean, honestly, our views are down 75%. I mean, we're having numbers that we haven't seen since like 2012. Yeah. And I've seen this because, like, you all know, our travel channels for people that want to go travel. So it's for like preparing to travel. Those channels, like Rick Steves, us, some other ones that are all about that, we're all seeing huge hits. If you're like the backflip travel, like look at me being cool, they're not having as much of a problem. Okay, but people that are thinking about traveling, it is depressing.
Like
they really
planning
stop watching.
Channels like
the planning
ours.
Channels are really, and I'm going to guess you'll see quite a few probably go out of business. So,
we have a plethora of videos still to make. So I probably have about 100 like the love and hates and the don'ts and shocks and stuff like that. I probably have 100 in the can, and then this whole series of the 10 facts videos. But yeah, I mean it's one of those things you have to consider. It's like, what's the long term kind of thing. But Mark and Terry, I want to say this. So why can your dream vacation not be for your 26th anniversary? I know we're all like about the 25th and whatever, but like every one of them is special.
Because Mark's going to be celebrating. He's like, I got her 26th year.
There you go. I mean, you made it to 26.
We had our honeymoon.
Right?
We had our honeymoon at our 10th wedding anniversary. So we didn't have a honeymoon until we were married for 10 years. So I know it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yep.
So Michael, we're still holding out hope for reservations for Seattle in late June. That could be a bit soon. Yeah, it's really tough. I know, like when I saw that the CDC was saying cancel all conferences and events through the next 8 weeks, that was like, okay, it's going to be longer than the like little things people say. Mark, the tornado thing at the bottom is to avoid the beer from actually freezing once you open it. Okay, so Gwee's talking about from Brazil.
Nora's got Cards Cubs games. London, June 13th. Go Cubs, go! Right?
That would have been a great game to go to.
That would be really cool. He would cheer for the wrong side. Oh,
I mean, the people that I don't know, we have 11 championships. Hey, you got one in 2015. You get another one another 100 years. So this is one of those things. This is tough because I know they've already pushed back the start of the year by 2 months at least for Major League Baseball. And I think that's another thing is with all the sports canceled, there's a lot of people that's their life. I mean,
think about all the guys that sell the beer and the popcorn.
Yeah, but also there's think about the fantasy football stuff. Like, my sister-in-law. I mean, her and her husband. That's their thing. Like, we went down there to visit them, and we're like, hey, we'll watch our niece. We'll get you guys have the day to yourself. And they're like, no, we want Sunday to ourselves. And they went to the bar and they watched football and played fantasy football, and they were so happy. And it was like that was their big thing. And there's a lot of people who they're like, think of all the people that their sports is their everything, and that's gone. I mean, it's just it's something that's really crazy. Mark Philly's got the cheer wine open. There you go, buddy.
Special.
Cheers.
Opa. Yes.
Bye, Carmen. Thank you for everything.
See you, Carmen.
So
Nora
we rode
horses in Dingle. I would love to do that. That's that just jumped.
Horses try to kill me, so I don't go there.
I do though. Ben Smith Law.
I got kicked off for a bit. Yeah, good shit.
I stocked up on
the Trappist beers from Belgium. Nice. Mm. Yeah, that was the thing because since it was funny because we were because one of the things is we never went out and bought like huge purchase kind of stuff. We just kind of bought a little bit extra each time. And except when we did the liquor store thing, we were there. I'm like, well, I'm not really drinking now because the weight loss and trying to watch my my roundness, and trying to do better. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick some stuff up. So the Weiss Stefana, like this is one of my favorite beers. And then the Kuschwitzer, the black beer I like from Germany, I got that. And then
he likes it so much he wouldn't let me use it in my corned beef and cabbage today.
I gave her a Blue Moon that was sitting in the cabinet for
I made corned beef with Blue Moon. How wrong is that?
It tasted good. It's fine.
It was a good corned beef.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't think it could have been even better.
I'm a good
fantastic job. That's right.
Kathy Falk asks, I'm finally in a position to travel. I need to go now, as you never know how long you've got in good health. I love places that are different. Got any suggestions?
Yes. Iceland is a good place for something different.
And every bit of Iceland is different from every other bit of Iceland.
I think Ecuador could give you a lot of eco stuff and city stuff and things. Galapagos is a bit expensive, but it's worth going to.
But the Cloud Forest.
The Cloud Forest is
Nobody goes up there, but it is awesome. It'll be you and all the birding people. So if you're into birds, you'll love it.
If you're not into birds, the birding people will hate you because you'll see the birds.
However, you get to see the fun, cool stuff. And I mean, it's just an awesome experience. We love that.
I think we had a really good time in Rwanda, Tanzania. It's cool. If you're looking for Europe, kind of different spots. Portugal's kind of on the map now, but it's kind of I still think it's there's like enough stuff outside of Lisbon because most people just do Lisbon to outside to have a good time.
I'm gonna say this: Greece, but not the islands. Like go into the Peloponnese and see some. There's so much history. And I feel like, people miss a lot of that because they're all about the Greek islands. And maybe they go to like Athens and like, I don't know, one other place. But then you've got places like Nauplia and Yethio. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really cool, beautiful, small towns. And you get to have, and now at this point, anybody 40 or under has at least like a somewhat working knowledge of English. Because Greek is not easy. I can tell you that from life experience. But that's one that people don't, it's on the map, but it's not. What about though, like the Baltics?
Nah, the Baltics can be something, but I think those other places are a much better choice. Yeah. They're a much better choice.
It's not enough to do necessarily in the Baltics.
Exactly. That's like once you've seen like the highlights and stuff, like Nora was saying, like, going to London, it makes a great first trip, no language barrier. Or just going and exploring England, because once you get out of London, it's a totally different experience.
I don't even like London.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I know
I've been there
sounds
probably
terrible.
50 times.
It's not. It's just not my thing. I love to go to the theater district. I could sit and watch that, and it's kind of cool to roam around some parts of it. But for me, it's driving around that country. It's just like I really enjoy that. I'm supposed to do a trip with one of my girlfriends to the Cotswolds. We're going, and then we're gonna. Okay, so we're gonna nerd out, and we have. I think we still have tickets for a thing at Highclere Castle from Downton Abbey, but we're going to the Jane Austen Festival because I love Jane Austen. We're just going to spend like a day in between those, and one of my dearest friends from Portugal lives in Brighton, so it's all like right there together. And then we're going to go up and go see Stratford upon Avon, and then drive through the Cotswolds and then leave. Mm-hmm. It's like and I don't know which direction we're going or anything yet, but to me that's England. I love that. I guess so. Yeah.
So Darren 175, good to see you on here, buddy. I hadn't got to say hi yet. I don't travel overseas, but I travel regionally. How long do you think these bar restaurants closures will last? Already delayed the trip to Arkansas. I would imagine you're probably looking at least a couple months. I mean, a month for sure, because people aren't taking this seriously. So it's going to take the hospitals to be overrun and people dying, and then people finally start taking it seriously. Then they'll really close things down. So yeah, I mean, but no one can really say.
It work that way.
We can hope that this nip in the butt and we can get things going, because like China is starting to get back to normal, and some other places like Singapore is fine, kind of ish, and so we can hope. But I think you're going to see the sit down restaurant stuff, because here's the thing: is so many Americans where we really are like we live paycheck to paycheck, and we live like we go out to eat so much that I don't know if we could survive if it was all of a sudden no restaurants. Like France is no restaurants, like everything's
They're
closed.
all closed.
And so like it could be just the takeaways or the Uber Eats kind of stuff. So those things, and so I mean me personally, I'm not really thinking that I'm going to be any travel till probably June, but that's just my opinion. That's not anything out there, but we could be lucky, and maybe in a month or a month and a half, it could be better.
Billy Rubin asked if we were going to start any new hobbies since we can't travel so much.
Keeping our kids from beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah, can you all hear that? Ow!
Boys, be good, please. I guess their movie almost ended. I would think.
I'm going to go back to my old hobbies with my art and things like that. I mean, yeah. I've sort of been picking that up anyway in designing some of our T-shirts, but I haven't used the Adobe Creative Suite since.
Bye, Michael.
Bye, Michael. I haven't done that since college, and so I've just been hand drawing things. But it feels really good to draw. I bought the kids a bunch of acrylic paints. We're going to do some pouring because that's fun and totally messy. But we're going to do a little bit of paint pouring, and I don't know.
And I had gotten my guitar fixed before this started, so it was like getting a new guitar because it would be tuned up and everything. So I'm working on that. But since I teach and we moved everything online, one of my classes, I only have like 6 videos left to film, and then that class will be done for the semester. I'll have that. But my other class, I have 0 videos filmed. So my free time will be filming, and I'm trying to figure out a good spot to film in the house, because when we built this, we didn't think of a good spot for a studio to set stuff up. So we're trying to figure that one out. Mark, we'll show the dog at the end, because we're going to get off here in a little bit because we got to get the boys kind of ready for bed. Not that they have anything to do.
Melissa was saying maybe I should try to pick up a language. How long did it take you to learn Portuguese? Mark, 5 seconds. Mark is hateful. I love him, but the man, it's his gift. We're all supposed to be given a gift, right? Well, Mark's is the gift of language.
Not that I can speak them perfectly, but at least I can get by in them, and so it's that. But I would say, if let's say you've got a month, if that's your main hobby, you get there, you can at least have the basic conversation stuff down to say some highs and buys and basic stuff out there if you take it seriously. What I always recommend to people, there's a few things you can do. One, take it seriously. So take a class. Okay, so do the online thing and do that. Don't get a phrase book, get a grammar book, because phrase books, all you do is repeat back. You just a parrot. A grammar book teach you how to make your own sentences. to go online and find simple reading things like newspapers. Like USA Today is written for an 8th grade education.
Listen to music.
Listen to music. Music helps you a lot. Also, if there's a TV show or
The
movies that you
subtitles.
like, do the subtitles and click that on. That can help just to get the practice. And sometimes you can switch it so you have maybe English subtitles with the Spanish or the German or something on there. That can really,
I did
really
that
help.
when we were in Portugal. The hardest thing for me living in Portugal
Hop!
was that
Good to see you, buddy.
everybody just spoke English
Hey,
to
Thomas.
me, even though I was trying to speak, but they could tell that my Portuguese was bad and broken in the beginning, and so then I just gave up. It was like, I want to learn your language, and I'm trying, but no, I would ask things in Portuguese, and then people would just answer me in English, and they go, well, it's easier. I already speak your language, and I'm like, I know, but I want to speak yours too. It was really hard.
Yeah, and that's the thing is when you speak English, you go around the world, and so many people already do, and they want to practice it. They don't really give you the chance to speak theirs, which is kind of funny. So Thomas Reiser has a really good point. Check your library website for free language learning things. That is true. And the thing is, a lot of libraries are closed down now, but their online stuff is still there, and it can be a really great resource for a lot of people. Hop.
Thank you, Nora.
So Hop. Hi, Mark and Jocelyn.
Hi,
no
Hop.
good news. Yeah, good to see you, buddy. No good news here in the UK. Never known such times. All businesses struggling to survive. I can only hope my Amtrak holiday for September can go ahead. Yeah, hopefully by September things at least be to a point. Because here's the thing: is we got to get so we can manage the number of people that are in the hospital. Because right now they're just gonna have a big, like the peak, the big huge influx of people, and the systems can't take it. Once you get to the point where the systems can take it, I think then you're going to see travel open up. Because then if people do get sick, there's going to be enough ICUs to help people. But that's my conjecture, my thoughts. So one of those things you got to think about. You got a nice clean garage. Yes, well, it's cleanish garage.
Well, have you seen me picking bits off of him? It's like bits of leaves and dust and stuff. He really got messy today.
Nora, son-in-law is a U of I grad. Hey, there you go. Did you
where
ever
is
have my
this?
class? Nora. Son-in-law is a U of I grad and is a teacher, is teaching his first online classes this week. I wish him well. I will have out a video, I think, this weekend on 5 tips or 6 tips for being a better online professor. And it's not for me. I actually asked my students, so there's 325 students, gave recommendations of what you should do to be a better online teacher, especially like at the college level. So I have something out there to help it. Like one is like you got to make it's communication's a big thing. You got to be like, here's what we're going to be doing this week. Here's what you need to do, and
Good night, Eric.
give them night, Eric, buddy. Give them assignments that they'll actually do to help them read. Because what happens is, especially in college, students only study for the exam, so they get so far behind. And since there's no like lecture where they're like, Mark, we need to be there, they'll just put the videos off. And so like, I'm expecting my next exam to be quite bad because I have to give it online. So I'm going to give them a homework assignment with a quiz, and I'm going to give them like the playlist of the videos that's on the exam, and then they can like learn from that. So we were hoping.
Billy Rubin is starting. Billy Rubin,
Oh,
have
he
I
started
ever
Russian.
told you that
Cool.
that your name kind of cracks me up? He's starting Russian, and
What?
Billy Rubin.
The sandwich?
Oh, I didn't think of the sandwich. Anyway, I was thinking about, when babies have their jaundice, it's because of Billy Rubin. But it's spelled completely different.
I had no idea.
Okay. So that's what I think of. I'm sorry, it's the ADD again.
Anyway,
Billy Rubin is
Starting
that's
Russian.
ballsy.
Good
that's,
job, man.
That's big stuff right there.
it's going to be rough. You'll get it. Well, actually, so I learned Russian at one time, and what's nice is it's all phonetic. Once you get the... Well, yeah, I didn't use it, so I forgot it. Once you... come on. Once you get the alphabet down, then it's really easy because it just sounded it all out, and then it works really well. I actually had private classes with some of my former students that were Russian to help me learn, and then I went to St. Petersburg, and I could like ask for my tickets and stuff like that, and it really kind of like worked really well. And then I came back, I was back in Lithuania, and I didn't speak anymore, so I lost it. But in 2 months, I learned enough to go to St. Petersburg and do a good job, so that's really helped.
See, Billy Rubin said yes, and Nora got it too.
What?
Nora would because she was an L&D nurse.
Well, Nora's awesome.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that thought that. Okay.
My gosh.
Darren, sorry about the double post. Bounced me right before I hit the button. Oh, rescheduled for April 13th for 4 nights, but at least I have until 6 p.m. that day to cancel. Hopefully that's enough
that's
time.
good. Yeah, that's good. And that's one of the things is when you're looking to cancel your tickets and stuff like that, you might want to see about pushing it back. See if they can just get it. Because I know with Delta, they're like, oh, we'll give you a one-time change fee. So like our Cayman Islands, we should be in the Caymans right now doing this for you. But we couldn't go. Or we could have gone, but we did not think it was right to go.
Well,
so
you know what was funny is the lady, and I didn't think to tell her this when we were conversing back and forth about it. She said, well, we don't have any cases here. And I thought, but did not write, well, we have cases here, and I don't want to take it to you. Should we have it and not know it? You know? Anyway, but there are a lot of people who are allowing rebookings later, and so they did let us, and actually they let us book it later even than what we should have been able to.
Yeah, they had to go through. Delta had to go through and do some stuff because we had bought these tickets in August of last year, and so usually that's after the thing. But with this, we'll do it. And so the guy Muhammad, he was super nice. He got us moved up, and so we got the stuff there. And it was interesting because Vrbo or VRBO is getting some crap now because Airbnb is like, you want to cancel, it's totally fine, no problem. And VRBO is like, no, we're keeping your money. Screw you.
And we had booked for
VRBO. And usually we're all for our VRBO because usually VRBO is the one that's on the up and up, and Airbnb is kind of sometimes, you think?
It's a little shady.
Yeah, sometimes. The VRBO is like, no, screw you. And so...
But they weren't.
They weren't.
Well, VRBO didn't. I actually never communicated with them after I booked. I communicated with the woman, the management company that ran all of these, and they just listed through VRBO. But she's like, what we're doing right now is we'll allow you to rebook for a $200 fee. Yeah,
so we paid the $200. So instead of losing the entire amount we got, we switched to, instead of 8 nights, we switched to 4 nights in November. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to give you $1,300 back because you have a shorter thing. I'm like, wait, so you weren't going to give me any of the money back at all. And now, since I rebooked at a shorter period of time, you're giving me $1,300 back.
It's incredible how much we just got back on that. But anyway, there's a lot of that going on right now, and better to reschedule it later and still support our airlines because God knows they're hurting.
Yeah,
everybody keeps.
And the thing is, it's the airlines that could go out of business, but we can't have the airlines go out of business because we still need airlines. Because it's not like everyone wants to fly with Spirit and Allegiant. I'm sorry, but
I won't fly Allegiant. Yeah. They scare me.
Yeah. So, by the way, Billy, did you read Billy Rubin's thing?
I know, I won.
Oh yeah,
I said that while you were talking. I win.
So Billy Rubin asks, I want to schedule a vacation for fall or winter, but I'm terrified to buy a plane ticket only to have the airline go belly up before this is all done.
Buy one of the big ones. Delta.
Yeah, Delta, United America, because they'll get the bailouts.
Yep.
They have to get by it, because, yeah.
I wonder about...
Sorry, Elwood. Good enough.
Right.
I'll remember that. Or Frontier, yeah. North or Frontier. Yeah, because we have Frontier from by us, Bloomington, that goes to Colorado. So those who want to go to Colorado, that was the direct shuttle. I'm like, you know what? I'll go down to Atlanta and then fly there. So, but I don't know Frontier. I haven't flown with Frontier before, so I can't really say anything.
No, because they're kind of like a Northwestern thing, aren't they? They're back that direction. No?
Yeah, I am. Something like that. So, anyway.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So we're at an hour and a half. Our lovely and talented and amazing patrons and members, we really appreciate you being on here. I'm getting tired because can you tell my eyes are starting to get tired?
Well, I'm thinking we got to get our kids to bed because although it is spring break and we are going to be home for the foreseeable future, our children they need to still go to bed because they are grouchy. I don't care what time Caleb's 13. He's just grouchy.
Yeah.
He needs more sleep than the rest of us, but he has an 8-year-old brother who is bouncing at 7:30. So, man, trying to juggle that is something I didn't think about in parenthood.
Yeah,
but it's a new thing.
So we'll get to some of these last few questions. Mark, have you ever flown Wizz Air? I did back in the day. I don't know if they're still in business though. Yeah, I heard a couple of rumors that Norwegian might not. Norwegian's in really big trouble right now. So yeah, that's one of those things. Darren, that's for my hotel. It's a 6-hour drive. Now you know why I rescheduled. Wow. Yeah, because when you're not sure where you can go, and then getting the gas and stuff like that. I mean, it's easier just to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put that off for a little bit. Yeah, Frontier runs late and then cancels flights. Yeah, that's too bad.
When airlines start doing that regularly, that always makes me nervous.
Yeah, Elwood, May 4th, cruise out of Rome.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you, but I would not put a lot of hope in that one. But you never know. Never know.
Yeah, you know what, Lori?
Okay, so Lori Sims says, hey, can't get current info for BA British Airways for trip in September. Yeah, they're not going to have any information because all they're going to do now is cancel. You can cancel everything, March and April. And airlines are canceling tons of flights for the rest of the year because of this, because so much demand has dropped. I'm going to guess what you'll see is like those canceling things. If it moves into May, they're like, okay, you can cancel for May. Then you can cancel in June. So it's going to be a bit.
It's going to be different.
Thanks, Squee. Have a good night, buddy. Bonne nuit.
Bonne nuit.
Good night, Terry. Hope you're
doing everybody.
Been good. Billy Rubin. Love you guys. Thanks for doing this. Mark, good job on the weight loss. Thanks, man. Thanks.
No, you didn't read the last part.
You're not quite babe level like Joss, but you're getting there.
Thanks.
I'm stud level. Anyway,
Oh,
I'm Fofinho level for Glee. There you go. Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
And Nora, I'm glad you could catch the chat too. You all are great. And honestly, we do this because you guys just make life better.
It is
thank
so
you so
nice.
much.